Hello, Concord Christian School. My name is Bobby Nicholson, and I'm the president of Outliers Advantage ACT Prep Academy. I'm going to be leading your ACT prep over these coming months. I'm going to ask all of you to let go of your preconceived notions that you have about the ACT. I've worked with more than 1,000 students on their ACTs over the last 10 years. And my experience is that almost all students, except for those with learning disabilities, are capable of at least a 28 on the ACT. Now, just because you are capable does not mean that is where you will end up. But the vast majority of you who do what I ask over these coming months will achieve at least a 3-point composite increase, and several of you will achieve much more than that. And if you use the tools that we give you over these coming months to continue your prep after our time together, those numbers will keep going up as well. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little about my background because it's probably different than you are expecting. I was actually the worst student ever when I was your age, and I was a Farragutite. I went to Farragut High School, and I never went to class. I had to retake Algebra 1 5 times, and I eventually dropped out of high school. I never finished. And when I was trying to make it in the real world without having a high school diploma, I found that things were not going to go as I had hoped. So I became uber motivated to do something with my life. I got my GED, enrolled at Pellissippi State, and was fortunate enough to have mentors take me under their wings and teach me how to be successful at school and life. And it worked. I made almost perfect straight A's when I was at Pellissippi. I was president of my student body. I achieved one of the highest math averages of any student who has been through Pellissippi. I made almost a perfect 100 in every math class I took when I was there. I made it on USA Today's All Tennessee academic team. And after I graduated from Maryville College, I won the International Student Excellence Award for the transition that I had from high school to college. And I say all that to say that regardless of where you are right now, academically, in your life, or other, you can be in a very different place if you are willing to do what it takes. And I hope that regardless of where you are on the ACT right now, that you will start to believe bigger and realize that more is possible than what you probably think. So I'd like to take a quick minute and look at what is possible on this ACT. And what I want you to do is to think about where you are on your ACT right now and find a student on here who is in a similar place and where they were able to end up using the same techniques that I'm going to be teaching you over the coming months. So Kate Ash from Farragut, 9-point increase from a 21 to a 30. Chad Airhost from LNN, 9-point increase, 21 to a 30. Ariana Torres from HVA, 9-point increase, 22 to a 31. Brody Young from HVA, 9-point increase, 23 to a 32. Justin Pullock from HVA, 9-point increase, 24 to a 33. Nicholas Gilbert from Oneida, 9-point increase, 25 to a 34. Sarah Perez from Catholic, 9-point increase, 25 to a 34. Emma Poindexter from Farragut, 9-point increase, 26 to a 35. Kenzie Hemsley from HVA, 10-point increase, 18 to a 28. Jacob Cohen from Farragut, 10-point increase, 22 to a 32. Matthew Bringle from Grace, 10-point increase, 23 to a 33. Holly McKinney from HVA, 11-point increase, 20 to a 31. Eddie Chashu from LNN, 11-point increase, 21 to a 32. Grant Coggin from Farragut, 11-point increase, 21 to a 32. Arpit Patel from LNN, 12-point increase, 21 to a 33. Claire Groom from Farragut, 13-point increase, 21 to a 34. Emily Seibel from Carnes, 2-point increase, 24 to a 36. Macy Hudson from LNN, 2-point increase, 24 to a 36. Crawford Hovis from Webb, 3-point increase, 33 to a 36. And Davis Garrett from Lansing Christian, 10-point increase, 26 to a beautiful 36. So regardless of where you find yourself on the ACT right now, you can be in a very different place if you are willing to do what it takes. So this video is designed to get you prepared to be as successful as you can in the program coming up. So I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the college admission process, dropout rates, scholarships, some things that most students don't know at your age that they wish they would have known, and to give you a little motivation going into the program as to why it is important to put in the time that the program is going to take to help you get the most out of it. So I want to start off talking about the most depressing part of what I'm going to talk about today, which is college dropout rates. And I want you to take a second here and get an answer to these questions in your mind before hearing my answer that I'm going to give you. And the first question I'm going to ask you is, what would you guess is the percentage of students who start at a 4-year college who drop out? Take a second to answer that in your mind. What is your guess? The percentage of students who start at a 4-year college who drop out? The answer is 40% of students who start at a 4-year college will drop out. Second question. What percentage of students who start at a community college will drop out? Go ahead and answer that in your mind. What percentage of students who start at a community college will drop out? The answer to that, 60% of students who start at a community college will drop out. And even more depressing, for students who test into a developmental class, 75% will never graduate from any school ever. And I tell you all of those stats, for one, to help you realize that you cannot do what most students do in college if you want to be successful. And the second component is helping you understand that ACT Prep can be about so much more than just getting a higher ACT score. You can use this time to rebuild a lot of your academic foundations and your study skills to get you prepared to be successful at the next level. And I hope that you will take advantage of the opportunity you have in front of you. And I'm not talking bad about community college. I went to community college. I'm a huge proponent of community colleges. I also tested into all developmental classes just because that is a statistic does not mean that is where everyone who falls into those statistics is going to end up. But I just want you to be mindful that it matters a lot. One, where you go to college, what decisions you make once you get there, and what you do right now to prepare yourself for the next level, which is going to be more challenging than you realize. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is much more positive. And I'm going to begin with a question. What are the two decisions that you will make in your life that will have a bigger financial impact on your lifetime earnings than any two other decisions that you will make, at least for the vast majority of people in America? So just think of one. What are the two decisions that you will make that will have a bigger financial impact on your lifetime earnings than any other two decisions that you will likely make in your time on this planet? And the answer is the major that you choose and the college that you choose to get that from. And we know this now more than ever because of a study the Foundation on Research and Equal Opportunity did in October, where they studied more than 30,000 majors to get the estimated expected earnings at age 25 and 45 and the lifetime return on investment. And in the study, they found some interesting things. One thing they found is that 25% of majors have a negative return on investment, meaning that students who graduated from those colleges with those degrees ended up making less over the course of their lifetime than a student who only has a high school diploma. On the flip side, they found that 10% of majors had more than a $1 million return on investment above and beyond what someone who only has a high school diploma has. So now you can look up your major that you are thinking about and compare all of the different schools in that same major to see how much you will likely make at age 25 and 45, depending on which school you get that major from. Within the same school, you can also compare and see ahead of time what the return on investment of those degrees are going to be. And this is a tool that no one has had until October. And we hope that you will make the most of it. And we have made it very easy for students to see this information in a condensed form. And we hope each of you will go to our website and check this out. So we have two different charts, three different charts actually. So you can see all of the $1 million plus return on investment majors on our website. And you can search for your major, or you can search for your college, or you can rearrange it by whichever metric you want by clicking on that metric on our sheet. We've also done it for Tennessee. So if you're wanting to stay in state, you can search through all of the schools and colleges in Tennessee. It is ranked from highest return on investment to lowest return on investment. And you can just see what is available. Maybe you want to consider some schools that you aren't currently considering. Search for your major and see what the different amounts that you would make. And we know a lot of bad information has been propagated, by parents a lot and schools to some extent, saying that it doesn't really matter where you get your degree from because you're learning the same thing at these different schools, and it is simply not true. And we hope that we now have the data to actually compare how well these students are doing who graduate from these different institutions, that you will be able to make an informed decision with the data to actually choose what is best for your situation and the goals you have in your life. If you're thinking about going out of state, we also have these numbers for the out-of-state schools so that you can see what is available across the country. So our website, actprep.com, you can just click on the ROI tab to look this up, maybe give you a little extra incentive if you see some schools that are more competitive that you would need to have a higher ACT score to get admitted. So last but not least of the items I want to talk about for motivational purposes going into the program are scholarships. And most of you are likely aware that every school in America has gone test optional for admissions purposes. But what you may not be aware of is that still almost every major merit-based scholarship in America is still based on your ACT component. That's not true across the board, and we will talk about those options as well if you're wanting to go test optional. But being that you have chosen to do an ACT prep program, we are guessing that you are wanting to get access to those scholarship dollars more than likely. And you probably don't need as high of an ACT score as you were thinking to get some serious amount of scholarship dollars. For example, Maryville College will give you $18,000 a year for only a 19 on the ACT with no GPA requirement. And there are many, many other incredible scholarships that you are probably not aware of. And you can find those on our website. If you just click on the It Pays to Prep tab. Remember, our website is actprep.com if you're looking for this. And we hope that you will take some time to check this out before the program starts. You can find whatever your ACT score is and your GPA, and you can see how much you will get per year and over 4 years for the different ACT scores that you have. We also tell you if it is a guaranteed scholarship. For those of you unfamiliar with the guaranteed formulation, it simply means that this school has committed that if you have a certain GPA and ACT score, you are guaranteed a certain amount of money at that institution as long as you get everything turned in on time. So you can just know what amount of money you will get at least as your base scholarship amount if you have it. We also have a lot of other pieces of data on here, like the acceptance rates, graduation rates, average salary after graduation, that you might want to consider if you're thinking about some of these different schools. And it might show you some schools that you haven't currently considered and how much scholarship money you can get. We also include the tuition and fees and the amount remaining per year after getting that scholarship. So even though some of these scholarships are really large, because of how high the tuition and fees are, it ends up being a better financial deal for you to go to one of the other options. So between the return on investment and the amount of scholarship dollars that you get, some of you may end up considering some schools that you aren't currently thinking about, and we hope that you will use this chart to do just that, give you a little extra motivation, and within the same schools, being able to see how much money is available for you if you just increase that scholarship or that ACT score a little bit. On average, you will increase $2,500 in scholarship over 4 years for every point that you increase on the ACT. So very, very worth it to put in the time for your ACT prep. So that is all that I want to talk to you about as far as motivational things to get you prepared for the program. And now I am going to take a few minutes to discuss logistical things. These are the things that I need you to do before the start of the program in preparation for the program. So if you want to go ahead and just get out a piece of paper so that you can record these things and make sure to get these things done before we start, that would be awesome. First and most important thing for you to be successful in the program is getting a rock solid schedule. Whoever puts in the most hours will almost certainly have the biggest increases over our 10-year history of the program. And almost every class, the top 10 students in hours looked very similar to the top 10 students in increases. It will not be the smartest students who have the biggest increases. It will be the students who put in the most hours. So what we recommend is deciding right now to get yourself on a minimum 1 hour per day, 5 days per week schedule going into the program. Okay. The basic structure is that we are going to spend 1 week on each of the different subjects, but you will also have weeks in between to continue to practice what we go over during those sessions. All right. Second thing that I need you to do is to download 3 apps on your phone: the Google Drive app, the Google Docs app, and the Google Sheets app. And third and final thing, if you have not taken an official ACT within the last year, we need you to take an at-home practice test. In the video description below, I will include a link to an ACT practice test and instructions on how to take that. Please print the test off before you take it. In the best case scenario, you will have a parent administer this test for you. They should watch you while you take the test and grade it in front of you immediately after you are done. This will add pressure to make it more like the real testing situation. Please use a bubble sheet provided for your answer sheet. You will need to have all of your answers transferred to the bubble sheet prior to the time being up. You'll have 45 minutes for the English section, 60 minutes for the math section, 35 minutes to do the reading section, and 35 minutes to do the science section. In the best case scenario, you will take it all in one sitting, but if that's not realistic, you can separate it into different days. The answers and conversion charts will also be included below to figure out your composite. All you need to do is add the individual sections together and divide by 4. So please grade your test and convert your score after you're done. And then I need you to email me your name, your sub-scores and composite score, and your goal score. Please remember to include your goal score. Based on the goal score, I'm going to be able to send you some metrics that you're going to need to hit to be on track with that goal score. Given the small time frame that we're going to be working together, goal scores should be between 3 to 5 points larger than your current score. But this is just your goal score for the time that we're together. If you want to continue prepping after we are together, you can absolutely hit higher than those numbers. But in the short time of the 4 sessions that we're going to do together, you're realistically looking at increasing 3 to 5 points, more likely, in that 3, unless you're really putting the hours. You certainly have the possibility of hitting a 5, and that is where we want to get a lot of you. But all going to come down to how much time you put in. So in summary, to get yourself motivated, we hope you'll check out the ROI calculator and the It Pays to Prep scholarship guides on our website. If you are serious about hitting that 3 to 5 point increase, you'll need to prepare your schedule to be on track with at least 1 hour per day, 5 days per week. You will also need to download the Google Drive app, the Google Docs app, and the Google Sheets app on your phone. And last but not least, you'll need to take that full ACT and email me your scores and your goal score. My email address is bobby@actprep.com. Again, it's bobby@actprep.com. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to receiving those scores from you and seeing you here in a few weeks.